Hello, everybody. I am Sir Derpy Creeper, and welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. This is a weekly kind of podcast I do every Wednesday to just talk about random subjects of life that I think that people need wisdom to basically go through. So I hope this makes a whiz out of you making wise decisions and steams them up and make them even better. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. I would like to say thank you again. I got some more feedback on the last video, and I do live stream this as well on my Twitch channel, so I do highly recommend you check the Twitch channel out, because basically after the video plays on the stream, we conversate about the video, and I add anything like, is anything I missed, or any improvements that, people have some feedback for. I will gladly talk about it, and I might even go into more detail with a certain situation. But anyway, I hope you guys can see that I had a lot of interaction and super coolness happen last week, so I really appreciate it. It was really fun. It really, it makes me happy to see that people are interacting and listening to this. I messaged somebody that had messaged me prior, and they had told me that they really like listening to these, and it means a lot. Listen, like, even if it's just one person who takes a lot out of this, it means a lot to me, guys, and I'm dead serious. I am overwhelmingly thankful for all the people that basically have been up forward and honest and gave me great feedback. I will say in the future I do plan to have some guests on Wisdom Wednesday. I have two definite guests, people that I think would be awesome to have and in mind. So be on the lookout for that in the future. I think that would be really cool, and I'm excited for it. I'd like you to raise your hand. I can't see you, but you know in your heart. Have you ever been angry before? I'm raising my hands, all right? You can't see me, but, I'm raising my hand. Look, you heard my hands touch it, all right? I'm raising my hands, all right? Heck, I'm probably even raising my feet. All right, so listen. And if some of you didn't raise your hand, you're probably lying, and we're going to make a Wisdom Wednesday on you for that. All right, I'm messing around, all right? But seriously, everybody's been mad, all right, at some point in their life. And, whether if it's justifiable or not, you've been angry at some point in your life. There's almost most likely anyone has been mad. Anger is not a fun thing to go through. I mean, no one likes being angry. I mean, that's a given. I can almost guarantee you, nobody sits there and likes to be angry. There are people who probably like to instigate and try to start a conversation and then start an argument. That's possible, but personally, I don't think anyone truly likes to be angry. I know that a lot of people struggle with anger problems, and it's not a fun thing to talk about. And the thing here is that I feel like people are going to not agree with a lot of the things I have to say with this, and that's okay. Listen, differencing opinions is okay on this. I do not agree with certain kinds of anger that people have. There's one kind of anger that I personally think can be slightly justifiable, but it really depends what you do in that anger state. That really makes me feel like if it's justifiable or not, which is called righteous anger. I'll come back to that later, but within this, I actually want to talk about different kinds of anger that people can have, hence the name wrath. I want to kind of narrow some things down. Kind of like worry, when I did worry a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of things that you can be angry at, just like there's a lot of things you can worry about. They both have different impacts on your heart, and it's the same as worrying, in a way. Having it is still bad for you, and having too much of it is still bad for you. So if you worry way too much, yes, it takes a toll on your heart. If you're angry too much, it takes a toll on your heart. Both have different feelings in your heart, but they are not good for you. And so I want to go into like different categories of what anger is like, and different versions of anger, because there's so many different versions and levels of anger that I'd like to conversate about, and I may not even be able to cover all of it in a video here. So if I do miss anything, I can either reiterate it or conversate it up in another video later, possibly. And the first thing I want to say, and I'm going to hit the ground running with this one, is grudges. I can almost guarantee you probably one, if not all of you, have had grudges or are currently holding grudges in your life. Grudges are never good for you. Never. I understand the reason why you wouldn't want to hold a grudge, but you're doing yourself a disservice to yourself. You can't grow if you're holding a grudge. A grudge is almost similar to a weight holding down on your heart. Kind of like if you have toxic people in your life. and a bunch of stuff. It's a similar tactic thing here, except I feel like it takes a bigger toll on your heart and it prevents you from growing. It stops you in your tracks. And I understand why you may be holding a grudge. All right. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm definitely talking to somebody. I don't fully know why you hold a grudge. I can only assume when it comes to like maybe somebody's done you wrong, maybe it brings up bad memories of your past. That that those are understandable reasons to hold a grudge. I'm not saying that you're just an evil human being. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there are probably some really good people out there who hold grudges. There's nothing wrong with holding an original grudge, because I'm pretty sure it's natural. Most of the time, if someone does something bad to you, you're gonna have like a mini grudge against them. The problem is when it comes to grudges is staying inside that grudge. And a lot of people have long grudges that last for so long, and it really just tears people down. It tears people down. It tears you down. I don't know if you saw this through this perspective, but a grudge only hurts you. Do you think this other person that you're holding a grudge against knows it? No, they don't know. Now, they may if you tell them, I guess, but they're ultimately not hurt by you if you're holding the grudge. I mean, if you act bad to the grudge, yeah, they may be hurt a bit, but ultimately, you're the one taking the bigger toll because you are letting this grudge drag you down and just wipe your perspective and cloud your mind and heart to other people. And plus, you never know. Down the road, this person can change. I've seen some people hold grudges against people from them way in the past, and these people have changed, and they're a brand new person, way happier than they used to be, but yet the person holding the grudge is still living in the past, sitting there, consuming it up, being angry, and holding it against this person who changed who they were. Now, in my opinion, you can look at it either way, but I really feel like the one holding the grudge at that point is the one who goes in through more pain, because the other person changed who they were, went off and became a better person. If you're holding a grudge, you slow your process, heck, even probably stop your process of growing into a better person. That's the truth. It really stops you. And am I saying it's easy to not hold a grudge? No, it's hard to like let go of a grudge sometimes. All right, I've had plenty of friends who've done me wrong in the past, who've just like really made me so angry that I'm like, why are you doing this? And this is a part of righteous anger too, where I would get mad at people for doing the wrong thing. But I also have to realize not everybody has the same kind of heart as I do. Not everybody has the same kind of heart as you do. No one's going to make your decisions but you. And it's important that you make a decision to let go of this grudge. It's not a good thing to hold on to. You stop yourself from improving who you are because you're letting a grudge take hold of you. It's never a good thing to hold on to. The moment you let go of the grudge, now, is it going to take a bit? Sure, it's always going to take a bit. I highly doubt anybody can just get super mad, especially if it's a loved one or a friend that they're holding a grudge against, or maybe someone in the past that's just gone, and they can just be like, oh, I'm done, my grudge is over a day later. It's not going to happen like that. For me, it could probably take a month or something like that. I mean, it's not like a giant grudge. Now, if you're constantly thinking about it and you're obsessed with it, that's an extra problem on top of it. Don't go that far with it. Because if you go that far with it, you're going to make yourself go deeper than the original person that you held a grudge against. You have to watch yourself on these things because it's not a good thing to drag yourself down into. Grudges are never a good thing to be in for too long. It's never even a good thing to be even having a grudge to begin with. But it's understandable to have this initial grudge right there. But it's very bad to keep it going for so long. Make up for stuff. Change who you are. If they've changed, you're going to have to let go of the grudge. Because then you're tearing yourself down in the process. Another thing that I would like to say anger can come from is, and I know this is a touchy subject, but alcohol. Now, not everybody's an angry person when it comes to alcohol, don't get me wrong. But if you're using alcohol to kind of numb the way you feel and just pretend like, your temporary happiness is good, well, it's fine. You can live in that temporary happiness for all you want. That's okay. But drinking it amplifies your feelings. And if you're an angry person, I can almost guarantee you, and this is not going to be good to hear from anybody, but most people who are alcoholics that I've seen that are terrible in homes are angry people. And you should really, you really have to look into yourself on these things too. And this here is going to apply to mainly a lot of these anger problems. Grudges didn't necessarily apply, but a lot of this rest is going to apply to this, and that is your anger affects other people. You may be thinking, oh, it only affects me and I'm fine, but when it comes to the aspect of maybe you're a father in a household and you're just drinking your problems away, but in reality you're tearing your children down. You're making them feel unwanted. You're making them feel all this because you want to drink your alcohol and not care for your kids. You can be a woman as well. You can be a mom, father, or a parent or guardian, anything like that. And here's the thing. If you start treating alcohol and start drinking it a lot and getting all consumed up into it, and then you're angry and you take it out on your family, for example, I highly doubt you truly love your family at that point. If you truly loved your family, you would not be drinking that and causing pain to everybody around you in your family household. Now, I will definitely talk about later on how to control this stuff too. I'm not saying anybody who's going through this, and I'll reiterate this literally every time. I'm not saying anybody who is probably dealing with this is a literal scumbag. I believe that anybody in these situations are human, all right? I can almost guarantee you no one likes to go through the stuff that they go through, all right? But you don't need to be relying on alcohol, for example, for a temporary happiness. I don't know if anyone needs that, but that temporary happiness could be tearing other people down. Another thing, and here's a big one as well, is relationships. Anger in relationships really make it hard to grow as a couple and to improve who you are as a person and the other person in the relationship. If you're angry, it makes you very hard to approach, by the way. So if someone's struggling with something in your relationship and you're an angry kind of person who typically gets angry, they're least likely to open up to you because of your anger and the way you lose control or anything like that. If you are angry and you lose control of the littlest things in your relationship, that's monumentally messed up. And that's what makes it harder on your relationship, by the way, because you're getting angry over nothing. You can't get angry over nothing. Now, there's some things people could probably get angry over, like, I get it. Maybe you've been cheated on or something like that. That's understandable. But there's a point where it goes too far, especially if you're still in the relationship. There's a point to where it goes too far of the anger. And you can't belittle anybody, especially someone that you're supposed to love. If you're in a relationship and you love somebody, I highly doubt you truly want to be angry with them. And if they aren't doing anything worth being angry at, like if they aren't, like, let's say cheating's a big example, and I don't think you should let the anger get to you, then now that's a hard thing. All right, listen, if someone cheats on you, that's screwed up. All right, I'm not going to lie. Like, that's screwed up. And I can almost guarantee you a big, like 99% of you would probably flip the crud out if you found out you were cheated on. I understand. Trust me. Letting your anger get to you in these smaller situations is screwed up. That doesn't mean that it's okay to be angry if you're cheated on, by the way. I mean, like, you got to have a level-headed conversation. You have to make yourself approachable in conversations. You can't sit there and say, I love you to somebody, and then go turn around and then start yelling at them 5 seconds later for something that they did. Or for something so small or something minuscule. If it's something small and minuscule, you need to treat it small and minuscule. I've seen relationships that really ticked me off because they sit there and one will say something that's just like, it's kind of minuscule and they're letting it get to their head, and then the other person would be very angry at the fact that it was so minuscule, making it even bigger than it needed to be. You see what anger can do? Anger can literally skyrocket your situations out of nowhere. Seriously. I mean, you're sitting here having fun. You telling each other, man, I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. Vice versa, if you're a boy or girl or parent, guardian, whatever you are. It's scary being in a relationship where someone's mad. Now, I have moved on from my relationship. By the way, I had a relationship online, I'll say, and I know some people are like, oh, online's kind of weird and stuff. Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird. I guess it's weird if you believe it. I didn't think it was weird at the time, and I took it as a good learning experience. And me and my ex, we are pretty cool. I mean, we've conversated, and we've let bygones be bygones. We've both changed in good ways, and I think that's a great thing. But being in a relationship where you feel like that someone's just going to get mad at you for everything you do is not a good thing. And if you're creating this kind of atmosphere, by the way, I'm talking to you guys, girls, whatever you are. If you're creating that atmosphere, you need to stop it. You are literally tearing down your relationship. And it's not mainly just you. Listen, I understand. Relationships are a two-way street. All right? I get it. I freaking get it. Listen, I understand your significant other has probably done something that is just like, ticked you off in the past a while. Or they've done something just as wrong as you have, and I get it. But that does not justify any reason to get angry at them over small stuff. I've seen so many relationships, and it's so saddening to me because I see so many people that they could grow together, they could be happy together, they could be more confident with it, build each other up. That's what a relationship is. You're supposed to build each other up. If you aren't building each other up and one person's not building the other person up, that's a problem. A relationship is supposed to be strong, bonded together. When one side falls down, the other's there to pick them right up. That's what a relationship is. That's what love is. All right. If you truly love somebody, you would not quickly snap to anger like that. So I'm saying this in the aspect of, if you're an angry person, all right, you need to work on yourself. And I mean seriously. By the way, a lot of people have this problem, all right? They think, oh, if I just say sorry, my whole anger problem, me being angry at my significant other just wipes it clean. And that's not true. Just because you're sorry does not mean anything. Sorry without action is just the same as manipulation. And that's not cool. You need to literally be sorry if you're sorry and work for it and change. And then I've seen people do this as well. They'll sit there and they'll work on change a little bit, and then nothing happens, and they'll revert back to the way they were. Why would you do that? If you truly love somebody, you'll work and actively change to be the person that you are meant to be, or better yourself. If you and your significant other both work to better yourselves through each other, that's what you need to be doing. That's a relationship right there. That's what a relationship needs to be. And I feel like someone needs to hear this. A relationship has to be something where you both build each other up. And I'm not talking about building somebody up temporarily. A lot of people have this problem where, okay, well, if I build my significant other up temporarily, it'll be fine, and then you tear them down later. If you are half building somebody up and half building them down or tearing them down, it's the same as an emotional roller coaster. Now, I get it. Not everything's peaches and cream. Nothing's majestic and lollipop candies. I get it. Nothing's perfect. But if the majority of the time, or even half of the time, you're only building somebody up and tearing them down, that's screwed up. In a relationship, you need to mostly be building up. As in, you both build each other up. When someone else falls, you build them up. That's what a relationship is. You can't say you truly love somebody and then do that. In my opinion, and this is probably I don't even think this is an opinion. I think this is just truth. If you have true love for somebody, you would be trying to bring them up and bring the best out of them. And that's what a relationship's supposed to be built off of. And we can even talk about this can even be marriage as well. You may even have a marriage like this. You probably married some scumbag. You probably didn't know. You probably don't even realize that you both are tearing each other down. If you let anger get in the way of your conversations, your interactions, it's going to make it hard for both of you to grow as people and conversate with each other. I've had some problems with people before where they would get so angry that they just become blind to what they're saying or understanding. You can't let anger get a hold of you. If you let anger eat you up and blind you, you really have to work on your anger. Because you can't just get offended. Well, you can if you want. But if you get offended and go haywire, just because of something small, that means you have to work on an anger problem. It means you're way too quick to anger. You can't be quick to anger. If you're quick to anger, that means you're quick to think unrational thoughts, and that's not good. You know, I would think that our divorce rates in our country, or heck, even in the world, I can almost guarantee you, I'm pretty sure the divorce rates are high in America, but I bet you it's around the world, dude. The divorce rates are high because people are building their relationships or marriages off of things that don't matter. You're probably building it off of anger, building off of intercourse. You know, I mean, if you're like that kind of person, you don't need to build these things off of things. Here's what you build your relationships off of to improve. It's either God or good qualities that build up. Not being angry, being there, being level-headed. All these things can work, and they all play into each other in a good relationship. You cannot be truly happy, and you cannot truly love somebody if you're sitting there getting angry at them. A way I see it, if you have to raise your voice at somebody, I truly think that that's a problem. You shouldn't have to raise your voice at somebody. I get it. Maybe you're tired sometimes. I get it. I've been tired sometimes, and I've raised my voice to my friends sometimes. It's a thing that, no one's perfect, and I'm not trying to come off and say, yo, you have to be perfect. You can't be perfect. It's impossible. There is no way to be perfect when it comes to anger problems. It's literally impossible. So please don't try to be perfect, but try to reach the goal of being a better person. I used to get so angry at just video games, for example, and I would go up and hit my Xbox just because out of anger. And I've learned to control my anger and calm down. You have to realize that sometimes when you're acting in anger, it's not good. It's not good to act in anger, because if you act in anger, guess what? You're probably going to make a decision you're going to regret. You'll probably say something you'll regret. Then it's hard to erase something like that and make up for it. You have to know, you have to hold your tongue sometimes. Sometimes, listen, I get it. If you're a leader kind of the person, you want to be impressive, but tearing people down and getting angry over it's not going to do anything for you. You know, a big thing, and I know a lot of people, though, is that, a lot of people don't care what you know until they know that you care. Seriously, you can know a whole lot. You can be a know-it-all. You could be the coolest gamer guy or jock guy out there. No one's going to care, though, if you don't care for them. And that's why it's a big effect on relationships, is that, you have to truly let your significant other know you care. And I don't mean temporarily know. And I don't mean being insecure about it and saying, oh, I'm sorry constantly. Sorry is a big thing that you need to watch out for. Because you need to don't destroy the word sorry, all right? Sorry is a thing where you need to truly express how you are and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I really did not want to do this. I did not mean to do this, and I will make up for it. That is what a sorry is. Don't say sorry and then do nothing about it, or do something for a couple of days and then go revert back to where you were. You destroy the meaning of sorry when you apologize and there's no change at all. Or if it's only temporary. People are watching you, man, or girl, however you are. You really need to watch out for those things. And I'm not saying you're perfect. Don't think you have to be perfect. I just feel like I have to get this out because I feel like there's a strong energy of a lot of people are just dealing with a lot of anger. And another form of anger could be jealousy. Now, jealousy can jump in from the relationship. It can jump in from a lot of places. And I know this is a weird one. But jealousy can give you anger. I mean, you can be mad that, man, this person's got all this cool stuff that I don't have. Or this person has, how is this person famous, but I'm not? There's a scumbag out there, and I'm angry because this scumbag out here, he's getting all this money and everything, swindling other people. But me, I'm sitting here, got nothing. You need to be grateful for what you have. If you're jealous, that's a problem. And it's a thing you have to fix. And by the way, I understand some of you are probably like, well, how do I fix these problems? So I'll talk about it after. I just want to tell you about these things first. Jealousy is never good. Because here's the thing. If you're jealous over someone having something you don't have, that means clearly you don't have something that they don't have either. And that's happiness. If you're jealous, if you're a jealous kind of person, you're not happy. a thing about having in a relationship. You can be jealous in a relationship as well, and that's I used to be a very jealous guy. All right, any kind of guy that would talk to my ex, dude, man, you'd be seeing me going like, whoa, I don't like this guy, and I'd be talking bad about them sometimes, and it just it's not cool. I talk mad about people, and here's the thing: if you're in a relationship and you truly trust somebody, then you shouldn't have to worry if some guy's going to come by and talk to her or anything like that. You both have to have this understanding of, hey, listen, this is cool and this is not cool. You should have trust in your significant other that, hey, they won't do anything that will diminish your trust. Life's not going to go your way all the times either. Some people maybe have gotten cheated on, and that's where a jealousy thing comes in, and I get it. Listen, being cheated on is not a fun thing. It's not. It's like, you had this so much trust built into somebody, and then they flip it upside down and say, whoopsie daisy. And then, maybe they're being bad. They're scumbagging. They're just like, well, it happened. And this is another thing on grudge. You may be holding a grudge against someone who cheated with your significant other, or your significant other because they cheated. And you don't need to hold that. I understand I went into a little bit of grudge there, but I wanted to mention that. Being jealous is not a good thing. And I know I'll say it 1,000 times. All these things usually aren't a good thing. A thing my instructor told me in the past was, which I thought was really cool, is that, listen, he said, if I have to be jealous of you, then we don't need to be together. And I thought, dang, that's some pretty powerful stuff right there. You don't need to be in a relationship if you're going to get jealous. If you're going to get jealous of every guy that comes by, or every girl that comes by, then you don't need to be in a relationship with that person. You should be in a relationship with someone where you can feel comfortable and not be jealous of anybody who walks by and talks to your significant other. You shouldn't. Your partner is your partner for a reason, all right? Jealousy is not a thing that you should allow happening to yourself, because what it's going to do is jealousy could bring on insecurities. If you're jealous of some guy talking to your boyfriend, girlfriend, all right? Like, guy, girl talking to vice versa. If you're jealous of that, you're going to end up getting more thoughts in your head of overthinking or insecurity, and you can't allow that. Because here's the thing, you allow it, what you're going to do is you're going to end up treating your partner bad because you think that they're doing something when they're probably not. And if they are still, you need to be true to yourself. You can't let yourself be dragged down. And I want to stop this section right here before I tell you how to change anger into being a better person. Is that what true love really is? And true love is not angry. It's not boastful. It's not temperate. It's not harmful. It's not hurtful. It's not tearing down others. It's not lying to somebody. It's not jealousy. It's not prideful. It's not judgmental. And it's not hate. It's not. If you're treating your wife like she is less than what she is, or if you're treating your husband that he is less than what he is, that isn't love either. If you're judging other people for the way they are, that's not love. If you're getting angry at your girlfriend or boyfriend for no reason, your wife, your husband, your family members, just for no reason at all, when it doesn't have to be escalated to anger, that isn't love. Real true love is this. It's compassion, generous, honest, uplifting, accepting, helping. Literally, you have to help each other. That's what love is. Anger can really block you from love. Just experiencing love in your heart. If you have so much anger built in your heart, it blocks you so much and you're missing out so much on life. True love is humble. Humble yourself. Improve who you are. You need to love yourself as well. Don't downplay yourself, but don't downplay the others in your life as well. It's graceful, it's happy, faithful, and modesty. Listen, don't treat yourself like a high horse, all right? You don't have to be a high horse. You can be a good person. And I'm going to talk about how to improve anger-wise to hopefully help you help everyone else around you. A thing about being angry is that it's a lot easier than being calm, because it's easier to snap on anger and jump in right on it, but you have to really force yourself not to. You have to ignore this human instinct of, I'm going to get mad because I'm real mad. Because if you let anger get the hold of you, you're going to make decisions that you're going to regret. So I will say this. Don't let your anger consume you. If you let your anger build up so much, it's going to explode. Usually some things, and there's some things to make up for like being angry. Sometimes I get a lot of energy. It may not even be angry energy, but sometimes I get angry energy. You know what I do? I know it sounds cliche, but I scream into a pillow. I let out all the anger right into a pillow, just like, just like straight up anger through a pillow. And it's like a bunch of energy just flies out. Do something like that. Don't go and tear other people down. If you got to go outside, scream into a pillow or something. That's what I do. That's one of the things I do, is I scream into a pillow. Another thing is wait. Remember what I talked about wait last week? Literally wait. If you are not waiting to speak, and if you're quick to anger, guess what? Being quick to speak and quick to anger is almost the same thing, depending on your conversation that you're having. Wait, calm down, and conversate. Because if you get too angry too fast, you're going to lose the conversation you're having. This is with anybody. It doesn't have to be a relationship at all. It doesn't have to be. If you're struggling with that kind of anger, you just need to calm down and have a level-headed conversation. Well, some of you may be asking, well, what about the alcohol? And the alcohol that one's hard. You're going to need your family to help you out with that. First of all, quit buying it. I know it's hard and you're probably addicted to it, but quit buying it. If you're getting angry and you can't control how you are in your outburst or anything, you don't need to be having it in your life. Once you try to pry off of it, things are going to get harder for you, but I can guarantee you, the more and more you put it off, the easier it'll get. It's the same thing with change. The hardest part of change is those pushes forward. What do we do about jealousy? Be grateful. I know it's hard, but listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't grow up in a rich place. And I see all these other people who are rich and famous and stuff. I'm like, yeah, they're rich and famous. They got a lot. But here's the thing. I've got a family I can love. I've got people who love me. I go to church and there's people who love me there. That's something most of these people who are famous and have all this cool stuff don't even have. You may have a parent that really cares about you. Those people who are famous may not have a parent who cares about them. And that's why you need to be grateful for the things you have. Some people may not even have houses over their heads. You know what I mean? You don't have any reason to be jealous. Jealousy is a thing that is evil. It's a bad thing, and I don't see any good reason to be jealous about something. Even in a relationship, you should not be jealous. And one of the biggest things that, maybe you're not a Christian, maybe you are, but I feel like, if you're running out of different places to go through, if you're running out of ideas, like, okay, I've tried all this and it's still not working, I cannot still be happy. Try to put your heart towards God. Go to church. Listen, when you're in a good church atmosphere, I get it. There's bad churches. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not trying to tell you to go be a Christian. That's the solution to all your problems. Because, to be honest, only you can make that choice for yourself. I'm only suggesting this, okay? I'm not trying to condemn you or anything like that. I will tell you that the moment I went into a church and I found what true people of love and compassion were, it ultimately changed who I was and how I act. And I think that, maybe you need to build off of these things with God. Your relationship may need God in it. You never know. It's a thing you should at least try. I'm not trying to force it. I'm not a person that would say, hey, listen, you're a bad person because you aren't in this relationship with God or anything like that. If you don't go to church, you're Satan. I'm not saying that kind of stuff. I'm only suggesting it. It has made me a better person who I am now, and I have learned so much through it. And I'm still learning to this day of how to conversate, things of I think that are, better decision making skills. I still am bad at some decision making skills, but I feel like it's a good way to calm your heart. When I would sit down and pray, try praying as well. Praying can work. If it doesn't work, then that's completely up on you. I mean, it's worked for me and it's helped me in my life, and I highly suggest it for you, just in case it would work in your life. And it calms my heart. It has snuffed out so much, like, all this anxiety and stuff that builds up into my heart and anger, and it snuffs it out pretty much. Just it feels like talking to somebody who just knows all the answers. And that's what I believe. I believe God knows all the answers. Control your anger. I believe in you. And listen, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I may have been very stern or firm with you today, whoever may be dealing with this problem. And if you're not dealing with this problem, it's good to still actively look and make sure you're not being an angry person. You're not trying to drag anybody down, because everyone's been angry at some point in their life. Also, your tones. Watch your tones. Sometimes your tones portray a bad message. Now, if you can't understand it, I understand. It's hard for me to even watch tones as well, because I'm like, whoa, what the crud do I got to watch my tone for? You know what I mean? Sometimes I get a little tone deaf, I guess you could say, when it comes to expressing how I feel. And that's a thing where it's a complicated thing, but you need to watch that stuff, because you may be portraying yourself as a bad person and not really showing off as that, or an unapproachable person. I think that's a better terminology for it. I know that you can change. Listen, I understand I've probably sounded pretty upset, and I do apologize for sounding upset, but I do get a little heated at sometimes like this, because I know that a lot of people in this world don't mean to do bad. But when you let anger into your life and your family's lives, your relationships, it really just tears other people down, and it hurts me to see that, because I don't want to see that in people. And now, is everybody going to change? No, there's always people who are going to deny it. Please do not deny that you have a problem with anger if you have anger. The first part of this is accepting the problem, that you are angry, and move on and work actively to improve yourself. Don't tear other people down. Don't be jealous. Don't hold grudges. Don't be drinking alcohol. Don't be doing anything crazy like that. And I would like to recap a lot. Now, this is a lot I talked about, and this is probably the longest one I've ever done in my life. And I want to say that, listen, if you sat here and listened through this entire thing, I applaud you. I really do. But the main thing I want to recap about is this. 1, don't hold grudges. Listen, grudges tear you down by yourself, by the way. You are literally doing only yourself a disservice, which is technically a better thing than tearing other people down, but it's still bad. Don't hold grudges. Grudges hurt you. They don't hurt other people. They mainly hurt you because it's inside your heart. 2, don't let alcohol control you or your anger. You can literally be tearing other people down because of the fact that you're drinking alcohol and you're getting angry and emotional, because alcohol amplifies your feelings. You have every right to drink alcohol if you want, but if you can't control your anger under alcohol, you don't need to be drinking it. You don't need to be around it. Relationship-wise, actively look and listen. If you truly love somebody, and I'm serious about this, if you truly love somebody, you will actively want them to grow. You won't try and get mad at them over the smallest things. You won't be angry with them over small stuff. It's not a good thing to be angry about, because if you're angry over small things, you're making the problem bigger and you're making yourself less approachable. Improve who you are. If you love somebody, mean it. Don't say sorry and then not change. You need to literally say sorry. Oh, you don't have to say sorry, but change. Change is the bigger thing. I can almost guarantee you every single person who loves another person would much rather see change than hear sorry. So don't give a sorry. If you do give a sorry, you better change though, okay? And I'm not trying to step on your toes. I am kind of stepping on your toes, but I'm not trying to belittle you. You are not lower than anybody else, but you can be dragging people down, and you need to be lifting them up, especially if it's someone you love. In a marriage, in your relationship, love each other. Seriously, love each other. And the recap here for love is, remember, love is not jealous. Love does not mean holding grudge. If you truly have love in your heart, you won't have those things in there. Those things drag you down and beat you up and just destroy your heart. And I truly feel like you can become a better person. I don't think that your past should define who you are. And a lot of people probably have these problems because they think their past is what defines them, and it's not. All the way back to worth, you're worth it. All right? I understand you've been through rocky roads. You've been through a bunch of freaking roads. You've probably been up and down, sideways, back and forth. You've probably had a terrible life at some point, but you don't need to make other people's lives terrible. You can become a better person and make other people's lives better. Watch what you say. Be careful. Love people. But I hope you all enjoyed this. I really think that I needed to just get this one out here. I originally was just going to make Wrath on the week of worry, but I've seen some situations that have happened over the last week that have really keened me to basically symbolize that I just needed to conversate this. And I really sincerely thank you for watching this entire part. I know this thing is about 40 minutes long, and that's a freaking long time. But I tried to talk about as much as I could. I can almost guarantee you I missed some things, alright? Because there's a lot of things to be angry about, like I said. And if there is anything that I forgot, please let me know. I would gladly take that into feedback consideration and then make something out of it. I don't want to let anything go under the radar that needs to be talked about, you know what I mean? But seriously, thank you if you watched this entire part. This one was hard to make, really. It was really hard to make, especially since it's like 40 minutes long right now. And it means a lot that, people are listening. So I really would love to hear feedback on this. This is the longest thing I've ever done, and I really hope this helped somebody. If you'd like to know any social media information, I've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're all Sir Derpy Creeper on those, even on Twitch. I live stream these on Twitch, by the way. For those of you who are listening to this that are not on Twitch, I would highly appreciate you watch these on Twitch as well. So, because there's an aftermath kind of thing I do with my videos where I conversate things after it. Maybe I missed something, maybe I articulated something wrong. It's something to help improve these and make them even better, and I would highly appreciate you guys checking it out. YouTube is also Sir Derpy Creeper, but I recently changed it to a branding account, and it left one of my old usernames there, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to be able to change it yet. I'll probably have to wait till the future. But I also have YouTube as well, where I post these Whizdum Wednesdays. If you're listening on YouTube, I would say for the most part, most of you are probably listening to this on YouTube, and I highly appreciate you guys. I really do. It means a whole lot. It means the world to me that you guys are just sitting here listening to this stuff. And I understand. It's been 42 minutes so far. I think we're done here. I hope this made a whiz out of you making wise decisions, and you were able to steam them up and make them even better. Until next week. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next time on the next Whizdum Wednesday.